What's going on, AWGFAM? Back with another video. This is my third one for tonight, and these are all three of them kind of going together. So, if you're coming to this one, hold up, go to the first one, then watch the second one, then come to this one. Because this is the one that Anonymous released today. So, I went back and talked about the first video, the lady who was the doctor who called out people for lying to the public about the drugs that actually work for COVID-19, or this crazy flu is what I would like to call it, because I still don't believe in that, especially not anymore. I do believe people are getting sick, but if you've noticed, everybody who's gotten severely sick has underlying health conditions. Everybody else, the 99%, they're fine. Suspect. But yeah, if you haven't watched those other videos, run back, watch those, then come to this one, because this is going to be a genuine reaction, because I have not seen this one yet. So, let's dive in.
We're going to a different place, which is a new normal.
A new normal.
A new normal.
A new normal. A new normal.
New normal. Embrace the new normal.
The new normal.
The new normal?
The new normal.
New normal.
This new normal is going to look very, very different.
We will transition into the new normal.
This will be the new normal until a vaccine is developed.
It's very hard to do something the first time. It is very easy to do something the second time.
What does a magician want you to do when he's doing a trick? He wants you to look at the hand that's not doing the trick, so you don't see the hand that's doing it.
They just want human consciousness to go in a certain way.
Problem, reaction, solution.
Problem, reaction, solution, ladies and gentlemen. That's how they do it.
You create the problem. You get the reaction from the public on the basis of the way you've explained the problem, which is not actually what happened. And then you offer the solutions to the problems you have.
Sounds kind of similar to those videos that get released, and it's only actually half the video, it's not the full video, where they're sitting there screaming, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to him? Or why would you do that to her? How dare you do something like that to her? But then you didn't see the 5 minutes before that when they were resisting the police had to sit there and chase them down. Yeah, those videos. This is exactly what it is. It's all terminology. It's all the way that you talk about it. It's all the way. It's about the way you put out the information to people. That's how you get them. It's all about how you put that info out. If you do it the right way, you say it the right way, you word it the right way, guess what? People aren't going to be paying attention. People aren't going to see through that shit. I read between the lines. Why don't y'all motherfuckers who are lying to everybody, why don't you do that too? Read between those.
Explain the problem, which is not actually what happened. And then you offer the solutions to the problems you have created.
Something else that I said, problem, reaction, solution, was that the protests, they needed the protests in order to justify the second wave.
Bang! What's the matter? Protests, pulling down statues. The whole focus of attention has gone somewhere else. There are other reasons for that, but it's taken the focus away. When the real focus should be, look at the economic devastation of these lockdowns on every community. That should be the focus. This happened just at the right time that they wanted it, to get exactly the reaction that they wanted. So maybe there's more to know about this, and it's not just only what you see. And I think there is more to come out about all that. I really do.
It's kind of freaky, folks, you know, when you see that sort of stuff, you can see how long they've had this plan in the making. You know, World Economic Forum rolling out their whole plan to restructure the world, the Great Reset that we need to combat this terrible crisis and the terrible state of police brutality that we find ourselves in. Everything that these people who run the World Economic Forum have done, and now they're offering us their solution.
You know what I find absolutely fucking hilarious? Who offers us solutions? Who are the people offering those solutions? The people who are offering us these solutions, how much money do you have? Because you're right. The economy is feeling this shit right now. People are feeling this shit right now because you're not allowing them to work over something that's bullshit. Over something that people have the right to say, I'm not going to fault of that. I'm okay with getting sick. But no, you're going to sit here and impose on people's rights and their free will to make a decision, a choice for themselves and their family. That's not what this country was founded on. This country was not founded on the government running things. What it was founded on was the people running things. The career politicians, it's time to get them the fuck out. You're done. Pack your fucking bags and get the fuck out. We don't need you. We don't want you. You are the corruption. Our president gets 2 terms. 2. Why is it you motherfuckers get 20 plus years? That's not okay. That is not right. And it doesn't have the people's best interest at heart. It allows you to become corrupt. Honestly, if our president gets 2 terms and he is as high as it goes, then you should only get 2 terms also. That's it. Our president gets 8 years, you should get 8 years max. For anybody working in politics, governors, our Congress, judges. And I won't just say judges, I'll say Senate, because after almost a decade of being in office, you have a new generation that has moved forward and become adults. How do you know what they need? How do you know what their interests are? God, you don't live with the same struggles. If you're in your 70s and you're still in Congress now, "40 years ago, I'll tell you right now, the income in households were a lot more than what they are now. The cost of living was not as high as it is now. Both parents at home have to work. There is no discrepancy or choice, especially if you get married. You get married, and see, here's the thing that's irritates me. You get married, then you get to cover daycare costs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I know how much daycare runs because I have kids, and my kids were in daycare. You know, daycare is usually between $2,000 to $4,000 a month. That's no bullshit. You know, most people don't make that in a month. You're blessed if you make that in a month. So how the fuck do you expect these families to be able to have both parents working in the household? Somebody's got to stay home. So you know what you did? You took that middle class person and you pushed them down to the lower class. Because they can't afford for somebody to be at their house. Here's the thing, if you're making $20 an hour and you have to pay a babysitter $15 an hour, you're really only making $5 an hour. Because you still have to pay that person for their time and their service. But we don't want to talk about that. I'm just going to sip my tea.
Which is to basically lock everybody into a smart prison.
The thing that'll get us back is the vaccine.
Until we have the vaccine.
Zero tolerance. So every time we see a case, we basically pounce on it.
A vaccine?
Vaccine.
The vaccine.
The vaccine.
To all 7 billion people.
Almost every expert agrees a vaccine is the fastest way to get our world back.
You know, it's so important to get not just hundreds.
They say it's so important to get our world back. So what you're telling me is that the only way for everybody to get to their life before all this bullshit is to bow down? You can kiss my ass. The government's not going to tell me how, why, or where to live my fucking life. That's not what government was established for. And I'm sick of you fucks trying to play games with everybody. It's getting fucking old. Just because you're in Congress, Senate, held the President of the United States, it does not mean that you fuck over the people of the country. Not in the slightest bit.
Get our world back.
You know, it's so important to get not just hundreds of millions, but literally billions of those vaccines.
Legislative amendments that would make vaccines.
Oh, and you know, just out of curiosity, you guys know who benefits from vaccines? Big Pharma! Surprising, right?
Of millions, but literally billions of those vaccines.
Legislative amendments that would make vaccinations mandatory for public school students unless they have a medical exemption.
The vaccine is the thing that will change things.
The vaccine.
The vaccine.
On the issue of the vaccine, which you've said in the past could take a year to 18 months, will we have to wait for a vaccine to hug our family and friends who are outside of our bubble?
You know, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That will get attention this time.
They're really pushing the second wave. But this is just the beginning, folks. It's not going to go away. I said that months ago, this is not going to go away. They're going to release the lockdown a little bit, and then they're going to ramp it up even more. What they want to do, you know, the COVID pass that everybody needs to have to show they're infection-free, all the stuff they want to do. They're trialing it in Africa now. They're calling it a trust pass to make sure you're vaccinated. A vaccination record payment system is what they're talking about. This is the payment system. They want you to be scanned, retinal scanned, facial scanned, biometric scans, and that's how you're going to be paying. You won't need cash anymore. You won't even need your smartphone anymore. You will be paying with your face. And of course, you will need a record of vaccination in order to enter the store to begin with.
A cashless economy where people make purchases with their faces. A giant network of surveillance cameras with facial recognition helps police monitor citizens.
Ready for the new era of Big Brother?
Holy shit. I honestly don't know how I feel about that. I understand there are benefits to it, but I don't like it as a whole. It's not right for the people. Basically, you're saying it's okay for 24/7 monitoring. And you ain't ever gonna delete that bullshit. We all know that.
Recognition helps police monitor citizens.
Ready for the new era of Big Brother? This time is super surveillance may be for your own good?
A couple of years ago, I did a show called Giving Life to Lucifer, and I talked about the whole rollout of this smart grid, the ALS system. And I said that in 2025, we are set to be in a very, very different reality to what we are now. By 2025, the whole system will be controlled by AI. That's the way it's going. If you can understand AI, and you can understand that AI is working to gain control for itself, then you understand how these computer models work and why they're so, over the top. And so the figures were so wrong. But if you can think of a way of controlling and corralling human beings, then it all begins to make sense. It doesn't matter if the figures are wrong. They just want human consciousness to go in a certain way. And they want to merge us with the machine. And the question is, who is they? And when you look at it, folks, it's like they is now AI. The AI is already there. We're waiting for artificial intelligence to emerge, but really it's already emerged, folks. It's already there online. We're just not looking at things the right way. And what it's doing is it's basically creating a system whereby we are going to be completely dependent upon artificial intelligence in order to survive, in order to perform everyday activities, even going outside and purchasing a meal. You're going to need the whole thing controlled by artificial intelligence to be able to move through that reality, through the new world they're creating. When you look at things such as the Industrial Revolution and you look at the periodic changes that society goes through every 50 to 100 years, even more so every 200 years, there's always the birth of a new reality comes from the one before, a new beginning, if you will. But what is the new beginning we're moving into? It's really going to be a reality that is totally controlled by AI. If we're
AI is probably one of the scariest things on this fucking planet, and nobody fucking sees it. You cannot give a machine a way to think on its own. Bad shit starts happening when you do that. Look, electronics don't have emotions. Their decision making will only be logical. They will not throw a morality clause in there. They don't know what morality is. They don't know how to feel morality. All it is for them is percentages. Y'all gotta stop, man.
careful. The politicians, I don't even think the politicians know exactly what they're doing. I think too many people who've been involved in setting this up really bargained for what they were going to be getting. It's like all the rock stars and the pop stars and all the superstars and all the sports stars and all these people that have kept society distracted for so many years. I said to you a few weeks ago, the Miley Cyruses and the Madonnas and all these people have been used to keep us distracted. They're all finding themselves on equal par now. That video that Madonna did in the bath when she was saying, well, we're all equal now. If one goes down, we all go down. It's synonymous with the whole of society. I mean, because all the people, all the rock stars and all the people that they paid all these exorbitant amount of money to keep us distracted, they don't care about them. They're all going down too. I said that a few weeks ago, it'd be a bit of a shock for these people to find themselves all locked in their own houses, all having to deal with social distancing. Forget all that rock star world, all the pop star world, concerts and sports games and all that sort of stuff. It's not going to happen, folks. It's not going back to normal. People think that, this is just a temporary thing. No, it's not. There's also a new action called...
They will not allow this to be a temporary thing. They have their talons in now. You really think they're going to let go of control? Here's the thing with government: when you give them the control, they never give it back. It's what they've always fucking done, and they'll continue to do it as long as we allow them to. So knock off the bullshit. It's not giving them the fucking power.
You know, this is just a temporary thing. No, it's not. There's also a new action called Protect Our Neighbours, folks. You know, they're wonderful, aren't they? They want you to spy on your neighbours, basically, folks. Like I said, all the sleeping masses are the ones who are going to drag us into this if we're not careful. So there's now a new program whereby you can protect your neighbours by keeping an eye on them and making sure there's social distancing. Basically spying on them and dobbing them in if they're doing the wrong thing under the guise of protecting them. You know, now is the time for everybody to realise that, you know, there's a war being waged against us. And we have a lot of tools that we can use to fight this war, and we can fight on the digital battlefield. Hit Twitter, hit Facebook, hit everywhere you can. Do everything you can to get the word out to people, folks, because there's nothing more important than this issue. Our whole world is changing. It's not going to go back.
And I agree, that's where one of our biggest problems is. We have people who have incredible amounts of money. Now all they got to do is just say, hey, here's 500 million. I want you to do this. Oh, yes sir, we'll get it done. We're allowing it to happen because we won't stand the fuck up and say we will not allow this shit. Come on, guys. You already know. Wake the fuck up.
We're at a time in history where we find ourselves on the front line, all of us. We're on the front line here, folks. That's the thing. A lot of people just don't realise. World War III has already started. It's a war that's being waged against the people of the world by the politicians of the world. The problem is the people don't realise it's happening. This response to this...
I called this a long time ago. A super long time ago. I think it was actually back in the Army when I called out that we were going to start learning some really, really dirty secrets. Dirty, dirty secrets. Big fucking surprise.
This social isolation, this removal of even our oxygen. We're not wearing masks. This is such, like I said, it's complete. Everything they're doing to us is to make us sick, folks. And that will be your second wave. And the second wave will be fear and paranoia driven more than anything else. I mean, the first wave is fear and paranoia driven. I mean, how can they even have a second wave? There wasn't a first wave. There hasn't ever been a... It's all been about this legislation. It's all been about this police state. The whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, these parasitic morons that we have masquerading as government. What matters is that we realise what's happening and we realise the steps we need to take to get ourselves out of what's happening. You know, the steps we need to take to find freedom again.
They have been dividing and conquering us for centuries, using race, religion, borders, manufactured problems, wars, technology, mainstream media, entertainment, and misinformation. It's all made to distract us from reaching our true human potential. Fact. You know, this shit started before I was born. Hell, probably before a lot of you guys were born. This is pretty close to a 50-year-old plan. This has been going on for almost 50 fucking years. But you know who wasn't part of the plan? Donald Trump. At least, not that I can see anyway. Understand what makes you unique. Speak your truth and stop trying to be what society wants you to be. That's all I do. Truth. Justice. Right and wrong. That's what I do. I will not sit here and lie. I will not sit here and censor myself. I will not hold anything back. You will always get the truth from me. As it comes into my head, it comes out of my mouth. Because I have nothing to hide, and all I want is to get the truth out there. There's a classic line, the truth will set you free. Now, here's a little something about me. Back when I was growing up, like I told you guys in other videos, but I was a pastor's kid. I was a horrible liar. Lied about everything. Absolutely everything. But then I hit a point in my life where I was like, why do I lie? Why do I do this to myself? It's just more stress. Every single time. And, you know, fuck it, I'm just going to start telling the truth. Because it's not worth the stress. And since then, I've been an honest person. Because there's no reason to fucking lie. There's no reason to be dishonest. Not at all. It's time to wake up the people of this country. It's time to speak out. Raise the red flag. That's what you gotta do. You hear somebody talking about bullshit, correct them. No, that's not true. No, it's not actually. And if they want to keep going, then you look at them and go, you're right. You're right. Hey, that's what they want to hear. Give it to them. You're right. That was my classic thing. Back when I was in school. Whenever I get in an altercation with somebody and we'd sit there and be debating, and then it turned into stupid shit, I just look at them and go, you're right, and walk away. I don't argue with an idiot. Why? Because they'll beat you down with fucking experience. But that's my last video for tonight. Let me know what you guys thought about all of this. Love you, AWGFAM, XMCFAM. I'm out.